A contentious topic this past week, the possible sale of public lands. The provision by a Utah senator as part of the Trump administration's Big Beautiful Bill aimed to sell swaths of Forest Service land and BLM land.
That provision was blocked, though, Tuesday in the U.S. Senate, with revisions to it expected soon. I spoke with locals and Central Oregon nonprofits about the potential sale of public land.
I think it's a bummer for a lot of us.
It's really concerning.
Detrimental to everyone.
It's not good. Keep it as it is.
Frustration and confusion. That's how community members and nonprofits such as Oregon Hunters Association initially felt about the possible sale of public land.
OHA strongly opposes the sale of our public lands.
That provision, though introduced by Senator Mike Lee from Utah, was blocked in the U.S. Senate Tuesday morning. Initially part of the Big Beautiful Bill, it proposed to mandate the National Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management to sell 0.5 to 0.75% of all public lands. That's about 2 to 3 million acres of public land between 11 states.
We moved to Central Oregon for this reason, and we have 2 young kids, and we want them to be able to grow up playing in the outdoors and taking advantage of what makes Central Oregon special, so we feel protective over it.
I think public lands are well, they're obviously benefit everyone, so keeping them public is certainly ideal and out of the hands of private owners.
In Oregon, there's about 22 million acres of public land that's eligible. That's about 9 million acres of Forest Service land and about 11 million acres of BLM land.
This runs contrary to all the Oregon values in our DNA, and particularly in Central Oregon.
In a post on X, Senator Lee said he would introduce a diluted version of his proposal. Still making housing a priority, the revised version would include a removal of all Forest Service land from the provision, also saying he would significantly reduce the amount of BLM land in the bill.
Efforts like this to sell off our public lands will only further fragment those landscapes and make it harder for wildlife to reach to access the resources they need to survive.
Initially, the proposal required state or local government to nominate possible land. It also formally required nominated land to be adjacent to existing developed areas, existing infrastructure, and suitable for residential housing. Now it's Senator Lee's intention to make land within 5 miles of population centers eligible.
Urban sprawl, housing development, any sort of development is a direct loss of habitat.
Others question the integrity that the need for housing justifies selling public land.
Proposed budget would slash the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development by up to 50%. So it's really concerning to see our public lands being used in this way.
Though the provision has been blocked, some say this attempt at privatizing public land is about principle and creates worries for future public land legislation.
Setting the door so that it's unlocked, so down the road, someone can come in and develop it more aggressively.
This could absolutely set a precedent for future land sales, and that is of extreme concern for OHA. In some of Oregon's public lands, if those are privatized and that opens the door for housing development, we believe that wildlife and people that enjoy wildlife will feel the impact.
Representative Cliff Bentz voicing strong opposition to proposals that would sell millions of acres of federal land, arguing that improving federal land management, not selling it, is the best way forward. While he supports land exchanges when there's clear local demand, he says such decisions must include thorough debate and local input. This comes as the Trump administration said Monday it's moving to rescind Clinton-era policy known as the roadless rule that blocked logging on 58 million acres of national forest lands. Matthew Draxton, KTVZ News.